Economic factors that drive consumer behavior. Introduction. Consumer behavior is an essential aspect of economic analysis as it reflects the choices and actions of individuals when purchasing goods and services. Understanding the factors that drive consumer behavior is crucial for businesses, policymakers, and economists to predict market trends, design effective marketing strategies, and implement policies that impact economic growth. Economic factors such as income, prices, interest rates, and consumer confidence play a significant role in shaping how consumers make decisions about spending, saving, and investing. This paper explores the various economic factors that influence consumer behavior, examining how they interact with psychological, social, and cultural factors to drive consumption patterns. Number 1. Income levels and consumer spending. One of the most important economic factors influencing consumer behavior is income. The amount of money a consumer earns directly affects their purchasing power and determines their ability to buy goods and services. As income rises, consumers are more likely to increase their spending on both essential and non-essential goods. Conversely, lower income levels can restrict consumer spending, leading to more careful budgeting and prioritization of needs. Application. During periods of economic growth, when wages and incomes tend to rise, consumers are likely to spend more on luxury items, dining out, and entertainment. In contrast, during economic recessions, consumers may reduce discretionary spending and focus on essential needs. Number 2. Prices and the law of demand. The relationship between prices and consumer behavior is a cornerstone of economic theory. According to the law of demand, as the price of a good or service increases, the quantity demanded by consumers typically decreases, all other factors being equal. Conversely, as prices decrease, consumers are more likely to purchase more of the good or service. This relationship is influenced by factors such as consumer preferences, availability of substitutes, and the perceived value of the product. Application. During inflationary periods when prices increase, consumers may reduce their consumption of non-essential goods or shift their spending to less expensive alternatives. Number 3. Interest rates and consumer borrowing. Interest rates set by central banks and financial institutions directly affect consumer borrowing and saving behavior. When interest rates are low, borrowing becomes cheaper, encouraging consumers to take out loans for big-ticket items such as homes, cars, and appliances. On the other hand, when interest rates are high, borrowing becomes more expensive, leading consumers to limit their borrowing and focus on paying off existing debt. Application. During times of low interest rates, consumers are more likely to purchase homes or take out car loans, stimulating demand in the housing and automobile markets. In contrast, higher interest rates may lead to a slowdown in these markets as borrowing costs rise. Number 4. Consumer confidence and economic outlook. Consumer confidence plays a critical role in determining consumer behavior. When consumers are optimistic about the economy and their personal financial situation, they are more likely to increase their spending, particularly on durable goods, services, and discretionary items. On the other hand, if consumers are pessimistic or uncertain about the economic's future, they may reduce their spending, increase their savings, and delay non-essential purchases. Application. During times of economic uncertainty, such as a recession or a global pandemic, consumer confidence tends to decrease, leading to a reduction in overall spending and a focus on saving and debt repayment. Number 5. employment levels and job security. The employment situation, including job availability and job security, is another key economic factor that drives consumer behavior. When employment levels are high and job security is strong, consumers feel confident in their financial stability and are more likely to make long-term investments and discretionary purchases. In contrast, during times of high unemployment or economic instability, consumers may become more cautious, reducing spending and prioritizing savings. Application: in periods of low unemployment, such as during an economic boom, consumers are more likely to spend on luxury items, travel, and other non-essential goods. However, in times of high unemployment, spending tends to decrease and consumers may focus on necessities. Number 6. Disposable income and savings. Disposable income, the amount of income left after taxes and essential expenses, directly impacts consumer behavior. Consumers with more disposable income are more likely to engage in discretionary spending, investing in goods and services that enhance their quality of life. Conversely, when disposable income is limited, consumers may cut back on non-essential expenditures and focus on saving or paying down debt. Application: during times of wage stagnation or rising living costs, consumers may have less disposable income to spend on luxury items, leading them to prioritize spending on basic needs. Number 7. Government policies and taxation. Government fiscal policies, including taxation and public spending, can significantly influence consumer behavior. Tax cuts can increase disposable income, stimulating consumer spending, while tax increases can have the opposite effect. Additionally, government subsidies and incentives can encourage consumers to purchase certain goods, such as energy-efficient appliances or electric vehicles. Application: in countries that implement tax rebates or incentives for first-time home buyers or electric vehicle purchases, consumers are more likely to take advantage of these programs, boosting demand in these sectors. Number 8. External economic shocks and global events. External economic shocks, such as natural disasters, pandemics, or geopolitical tensions, can significantly affect consumer behavior. These events often lead to uncertainty and changes in consumer priorities. For example, during times of crisis, consumers may reduce spending on non-essential goods and services in favor of saving for future uncertainties or dealing with immediate needs. Application: during the COVID-19 pandemic, consumers shifted their spending away from travel, dining, and entertainment to essential goods such as groceries and health products due to concerns over personal health and economic uncertainty. Conclusion: economic factors are key drivers of consumer behavior, shaping the decisions individuals make regarding spending, saving, and investing. Income, prices, interest rates, and consumer confidence all play crucial roles in determining how consumers allocate their resources. However, it is important to recognize that consumer behavior is not solely determined by economic factors. Social, cultural, and psychological influences also play a significant role. Understanding the interaction of these factors can help businesses and policymakers predict consumer actions and create effective strategies to meet the evolving needs of consumers in a dynamic economic landscape.